How's it going, everyone? And as always, welcome back to Continues to Tick. One thing I tend to ask myself often is, what is the point to what I do here? Why do I invest for dividends? What is my purpose? My intention? Because a path without a purpose is the infinite lane to a place you will hope for, but never see the end to. And a path without intention provides a path without structure, a sense of framework to work outward from. These two simple words are everything to achieving goals. A purpose is our why. It's ultimately our starting point and needs to be found before we even begin. And it's not until you realize intention that things become more clear. It allows us to mindfully see where exactly we start from, understand the difficulty of our goals or how long it may take. And no matter these things, we focus on making it happen regardless. Through purpose and intention, we're better able to brace the barriers, the turbulence, life difficulties we may face along the route to any goal, including the building of a dividend portfolio. For myself, when I first started and set out to create my vision of a dividend portfolio, I thought my primary end goal was financial freedom and the ability to have my time back, and the ability to say I no longer have to work, or commend myself for ultimately creating a passive stream of income. Good job, Jesse. But as time has been going on, I'm actually realizing that the more I think about my goals in life, I'm recognizing that this is all a byproduct to my work, a byproduct of the consistency, which leads to the progress, which lastly leads into results. I'm realizing that my purpose is to not build $1 million dividend portfolio, but rather to prove to myself that when I set my mind to do something, I do it. That when I set intention and find purpose behind my work, my goals, my ambitions, I can remain disciplined enough and consistent enough to see it through to the end and succeed. That if I see a vision and decide to take on the challenge to myself, that I will do it. I can do it. That is my primary purpose with my dividend investing portfolio. And although it took time to find this clarity, it wasn't until I realized this purpose that my day-to-day challenge of building up this portfolio and maintaining this vision actually became easier to follow. And I realized this is because when I set an onus on myself to do something, I do it. When I decided to become a nurse, I did it. When I wanted to find a way to work for the state, I found it. When I decided to challenge myself and start grad school, I started. Or when I decided to start a YouTube channel and upload every week without fail, I'm doing it. I found my best reason to follow through on what is a long-term goal that takes so long that I have no choice but to truly find the pleasure in the small incremental steps. The results I want to happen for my dividend portfolio, they will. And how do I know this? Because my weekly actions align with the outcome for $1 million dividend portfolio, such as utilizing time, starting as early as you can, investing with a set frequency, spending intentionally, finding ways to increase my income, not allowing complacency to creep into such a large goal, staying so consistent with this plan, I allow progress to happen. The formula is not that difficult, but we do need to ask ourselves, how many boxes do I check off? Now, take out dividend investing. If I consistently do something over time, over and over and over again, it's fairly rational to believe you'll see progress. And then the measurement of your progress over time that you see are the results. And with this formula, remember, the results are dependent on your progress. which furthermore are dependent on the consistency. The more consistent you are, the quicker and better results you'll obtain, and vice versa. The less consistent you are, the less progress you'll see, and the results will reflect that. When I set up my dividend portfolio, I mentally prepared myself. I knew this would be hard, be boring, take time. I also knew I had to be consistent. Therefore, I could make that progress. I had to be disciplined. Therefore, I could make that progress. I had to make more money. Therefore, I could make quicker progress. And over time, this progress will show me my results. It'll be 2 years for me come July that I've worked on this dividend portfolio. But you don't have to look that far ahead to see the progress. And although it's early to measure results, that this formula works, something is happening currently here. Something I hope to continue to document over time. I say this all in hopes we can recognize that the same principles we apply to this dividend investing portfolio, we can certainly apply to our day-to-day lives. I'm learning slowly how to make that adjustment, but I'm recognizing it's there. If you have a target, find your intention, set your purpose, and follow through on the daily or weekly or monthly principles to achieve it, no matter what it is. And you will. And how about a small break to just say thanks to the long-term subscribers, and welcome to all the new ones. I'm not sure how or why or what, but YouTube wanted to bless me for pushing my last week's video. I didn't even feel like that was my best one. But funny how that happens. But regardless, here's another picture of my bubbas. And as we get closer to wrapping up this week's video, we do have to show the dividend portfolio consistently every single week, regardless of the results. Besides these last 2, maybe 3 weeks, or I guess I could even say month, the markets were in a downturn, and things are looking like they're starting to take a turn. At least my portfolio reflects that, and I'm sure your own personal portfolios may reflect that as well. But here we are currently, starting off the month of April at $53,822.77. And this is with a total return of 39.86%. You can see it's with a total gain of $8,657.42. And for market gain alone, we're at $7,352.85. And from earned dividends, we've now crossed the $1,300 mark of all-time earned dividends at $1,304.57. And in speaking of portfolio performance, let's take a look at the last week's view. It was a solid week with a return of 0.82%, along with the gain of $437.58. But as I mentioned earlier, for the most part, it's been this past month that has really just taken a turn. And it looks like we're on the uphill, even if it's just momentarily, a little positive boost of morale here in the markets. But this past month has been pretty good for the portfolio, as I'm sure it has been for a lot of your portfolios as well. Had a return of 7.05% and a total gain of $3,472.29. And over this past month was a market gain of almost $3,300 and of earned dividends of $190 in this past month, or I guess the past 4 weeks. So pretty neat. And just because I'm curious, and maybe you are as well, but over this past month, looks like the biggest gainers, we had a 10% return of the real estate sector here, 9% return of the tech sector, utilities 11.44%, and what else? We got healthcare noticeably at 10%. So all in all, I mean, it's a green lawn here. The Red Sea's always nice too because you get a discount, but I'll take a green lawn, especially now that we're in spring and it's warming up here in California. And just to note while we're here, if you're curious and you want to take a look into my actual portfolio, look into the sectors, look into, for example, my real estate sector here. You click on it, you can see what it is exactly that I'm holding. You can go ahead and look down in the description box down below, and there'll be a link to sharing my pie. You just click on that, and it'll take you into all that information. And if that's something you're interested in, by all means, the link is always there. And now making way into the dividend activity section here. For the past week, here we are starting on March 28th with 3 buys. Those 3 buys from the dividend activity payouts that occurred over the last week, $26. And then on March 30th, here we are systematically every single week investing our weekly amount of $500 into the portfolio and it funneled in. So 68-cent snowball here, but ultimately you combine them. For the last week, we had a $27 snowball action. I will take it. And then here we are, continuing forward with the dividends. On March 31st, getting paid by DLR, $10.73. And then PepsiCo, $6.61. And then getting paid also on the same day by Waste Management, $1.74. And I don't think these are any April Fool's dividend payouts. These are actually paid money here. But here we are on April Fool's, April 1st, getting paid by UGI, $5.64, and then getting paid by CTBI on 2 different payouts, but combined $10.70. And then last but never least, because there's no last in this portfolio, getting paid by MDU, $5.01. And so that's going to be it for this week's video. As I noted earlier, we are now in April of 2022, which is insane. We've made it through 3 full months now of the year. So technically, we're 1/4 of the way through. And at the end of this month, we'll be 1/3 of the way through. And that is time. Time continues to tick. It just slips right between our fingers. So as a reminder, keep tabs and keep track and start those goals. Before you know it, those opportunities will be behind you. But in saying that and getting that ramble out the way, we've made it through 7 days. Therefore, as always, I'll see you in the next 7 days on next Monday. As always, be safe and take care.